Welcome, Fabio, to Metalarium Pages. It's a great pleasure to talk with you about Slop, this new album, Freak Dreams, and obviously more things related to the metal world in general. So, in general, in the rock, because you have a lot of mixtures, not just metal. You have a lot of mixtures. So, I think we are starting by asking you, how was the band been during the last 3 years? Because your last album or your first album, The Street Hit, was released in 2021, and now we have this new very freaky album, Freak Dreams.
Yeah. I think the last 3 years was three pretty good years for us. And around that time when we brought out Street Heat, our last album, we built a team around us, like management, booking and stuff. And we took it like way more professional than we did it the years before. Like
Mhm.
with we have a whole team with us every concert, sound guy, camera guy, light guy, and stuff. And yeah, it was great. We played some really big festivals, major festivals that we never expected to play when we founded the band in 2012. So to sum it up, I would say it was pretty good years for Slope.
Okay, nice to know. Well, now talking about the composition process for this new album, how was the composition process for this new album? Because I'm interested in this topic, because in your music I found a lot of things that I remember that I hear in the 90s, like influence from the funky crossover, a lot of hardcore metal. It is metal, but it's not at in a big. This
Yeah.
is not big weight metal, but it is. There are metal. So how was the composition process to record? For me, one influence for this new album is infected groups, because infected groups. I remember the infected group mix this kind of metal, funky crossover more than suicide tendencies.
Yeah. I split this in two. The writing process for Slope is like on every output we ever had is the same. We just got two rules in a band. One is we just write music, all five of us in the rehearsal room. There's no somebody sends a riff in a WhatsApp chat or something like that, and we create it around that. It's when we write, it's every time live in the rehearsal room. And the second is if one person of us is not cool with anything, could be a riff, a drum beat, vocals, or something like that, and four people like it and one doesn't like it, we don't do it because everybody of us has to feel it the same. I think the writing process we were for us as a band we were quick,
Mhm.
much quicker than the last outputs, but we like took that also a lot more professional. Was like 3 days, 4 days a week in the rehearsal room. To come to the other topic with the influences, it's pretty hard to say what our influences. I always sum it up like the sum of all our individual influences creates the sound of Slope. So if anybody is really interested in our influences, we got on our Spotify like 5 artist playlists for every one of us, like five playlists, and that's the individual playlist influences for each person. So I would definitely go with that, what you said, like infectious groove, suicide tendencies, but
Mhm.
there's also like stuff more back, like Lucy Brown, 24/7 Spice, Living Color. For me, it's much hip hop stuff, like French hip hop, UK hip hop, US hip hop, or grunge, Alice in Chains, something like that. So it's like the sum of all our influences. And yeah, we're really open minded to music in generally like genre. So it's yeah, that's how we write our stuff.
Okay, that one for me too. I didn't know some aspects from Alice in Chains. Also, uh, Living Color, Living
Yeah,
Color, this kind of stuff. Okay,
it's
okay.
it's crazy. We played with Living Color in December.
Mm.
Was really cool to see that guy's live. It's awesome band, really awesome band,
Yes,
and
yes.
the guitarist they got like not one pedal board. They got like 3 pedal boards with so much effects. Like you would have, you must have like 10 legs to press every single on the pedal board. It was sick, really sick.
Amazing, amazing. Other detail for this new album is because your first album, Street Hit, was released by the label VDHW Records at that time.
Yeah,
But
Beat
now,
Records from Leipzig.
now you enter with one of the biggest labels, I think, in the metal. But it's curious thing that that they signed to you because you are very far from metal scenes. Not you. I For me, you are not metal. You are more, I don't know, because you have a lot of
I would
styles. It's very
I
difficult.
would say the same. I would say the same.
But this new album really amazing. I hear completely. All this morning I'm hearing the album and really really amazing one. So for this, how was your enter to Century Media Records, one of the biggest labels on the metal scene? And what is your opinion about the label? Because a few times I saw that they signed a very uncommon band. There is no metal.
Um, I think when we were in the writing process, like I don't even remember if they reached out to us or if it was like, I think it was a connection with our booking, like Contra. They worked together, and so we got in contact. And then we had like long talks. I think we talked about 6 months, 7 months, or something like that, to make everything cool for us. A big thing was that no one except for us 5 can say something about all the creative stuff, songwriting, videos, and stuff. But everything worked out fine. I can't say anything bad about it. It's like stepping up to, I think, a new level because they have more manpower behind it. But it's pretty nice working with Central Media, definitely.
Okay, nice to know. Other thing about this new album, well, for me, because I never heard the band before this new one, because Century Media, we work with Century Media many years, and they send me the promotional, and also that's why we are doing this interview with you. When I hear this for more than a week, this is slop. Um, as I mentioned, I'm denoted a lot of styles in the music: metal, crossover, funky, jazz, blues, living color music, all this kind of stuff. And obviously, for a writer like me, sometimes it's very difficult to put a label in the band. I
Yeah,
saw I'm checking a lot of styles. Well, I'm checking a lot of reviewers from the previous album, and they put like the hardcore band. Yeah, I hear the first album. Yeah, you have hardcore. That's normally, but with this new album, you open, as you mentioned, you open the mind with new frontiers, with new music. Well, you do a good mashup in this case, a great a great mashup. So for that, how do you label the style of the slope? Because for me, I'm curious with funky crossover and no, that's the main styles are funky and crossover.
yeah. Our roots are definitely in hardcore. As we grew up, we were like deep, in, had a deep impact in hardcore. But I think over the years, like, we matured up. And to answer your question, we don't know either. Like, how can we label us? Um, One time I put a slogan up like 360 Funk Vision.
Hmm.
Behind that is like 360. 360 is like every genre, but you will find the funk. The funk is like a major influence on our music. So I would go with crossover, mix up, mash up. I don't know. And to be honest, I don't really care. We just do our music.
Interesting to know. Other style that I'm seeing now in Germany is that the music from the 90s, especially the alternative metal one or alternative rock, has a big impact now with new bands are playing fest, and also with Europe with Slope. I denoted that well, a band like we mentioned, Infected Groups, Lost in Time. So few people know that band right now. So, but
Yeah.
you bring back again this sound mixing a lot of things. Even you are progressive and technical stuff. So now, how is gonna how I will rephrase this. So how is the scene in Germany talking about this? Why do you think about now this kind of mixtures has more potential than the death metal or black metal now? Because I'm seeing a lot of stuff coming from this
Yeah.
in this new style in Germany.
Um, I don't think like we even thought about it. Like, does this have potential or something? We just doing our thing, and we always did. We was always a little bit. I don't want to say this like a tough guy or something. Like, we was a little bit different or outstanding, but we ever like had a special special sound, like not the norm. Um, I don't know if people like. I would love to if people will find music like Infectious Groove or something when they watch us or hear music. Like to there's so many good music out there from the 90s, 80s. Um, but I think something like I'm happy that the people that are taking it so good with the good feedback and stuff. But in first case, we do the music for us, so I think we didn't waste a thought on does this have potential or not.
Okay. Well, as I mentioned it, obviously this new Freak Dreams is for me it's a complicated album to create because you mix a lot of styles. For me, it's great because I love this kind of mashup since the I don't know since more than 40 years. So remember this, and for this kind of aspect, talking from this new album, which song for you was the most complicated song to create? Because when you create a song, sometimes there is a song more complicated than the others.
Yeah, how complicated is hard to say. I think we did a lot of songwriting on "And Easy." That is that's one song of the album. Um, it's like always some songs just go with the flow and it goes and it's quick finished. But in some things it just takes more time. I think Why Sad is also a song that took us a little bit longer because it's like so much tempo switches, so much different styles of music. There's grunge in it, there's funk in it, there's rap in it. Yeah, but I think complicated. I don't know, bro. It's like uh, it's hard to say. It's hard to say.
Okay, nice to know. So other aspects about the composition process, especially from in general, yeah, in general from both album. On the first album is not as much complicated than this. This album has more textures, more layers, more scenarios, and more things. That album is more for me is more complicated than
More
it's in the
diverse.
first, more diverse
Yeah,
in some gen.
yeah,
And with this kind of aspects, usually when you mentioned it that you are on the rehearsal room and you play together and create a song, that's normally. But and you feel the way by your sensations, your feelings. So, but in usually the music is created by numbers also because you create three riffs for this part, three riffs or three rhymes for this scene, etc. And layers. Hey, we can put these synthesizers in this kind of aspect. You think the music. That's normal. But at the same time, you create the music as a feeling. So for you, in which part of the creating music the mathematical aspect or the thinking aspect to create music mix with the sensation and feeling aspect to create music?
oh, it's a tough one. I think for me, it's the vocalist. It's
Mm.
like every song has like a gives me a feeling, and I write the lyrics about it. But some people like if you really dive into our lyrics, the I would say the most of the tunes that we make in Just Sound are like more happy, except for two or three songs on the album. But our lyrics are always like struggle, personal problems or something like reflection. So I think every song on this has like a emotional what how can I say, has like an man, I don't get the English word. Like every song means something to me on this album in a feeling way. Like for example, MBQ is very much self-reflective, and it's always like good to like self-therapy, something like that.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, talking about now, especially from the lyrics, because I'm also being curious when I saw the cover art that is created by slow motion, like this kind of aspect, a slow motion picture. So, and also I try to relate the name, no, Freak Dreams, and what? Yes, usually Freak Dreams. The name, the music, and the name of the album is fits perfectly, match perfectly. So, and then also. So what is the main subject that the lyrics of this album has? Because I chasing highs, hectic life, true blood. It's very difficult to connect the
I
points.
I think it's not a concept album. Like don't have a big concept over it. It's the same thing that Simon and me always write. It's like personal problems in our like from the last years or something like that, and like problems that we want to point out, but in a creative way. Like when you, for example, you took Why Sad. It's like our life is so structured and has to be so fast. I think even when you're in young age, like 16 to 20 or something, that is the time where you can really figure out who I am and what do I want to do with my life. But in most cases and most times, you don't get the time like to make up your mind, what will I be, because you have to rush through it. You have to go kindergarten, school, study, work. There's no time to find yourself, something like that. So I would say like 95 9 to 5 struggles, personal problems, and things that we want to point out is the topics of our music.
Nice, nice. So, well, now we are very close into this interview, Fabio. And for this aspect, what kind of promotion do you have for this new album? What kind of tours? Perhaps you will present more videos,
Yeah,
perhaps uh, when I saw the cover art, perhaps you will present a video with this art, slow motion, because I really like the slow motion movies. Perhaps you will embark in this US tour, because I think your music fits perfectly in US scene.
yeah, yeah. Like coming first on tour, we have our first show on Thursday, this Thursday. So we got like 5 days Germany. It's pretty sick for us because every show is sold out by now. So
Amazing.
it's our first headliner run. So we couldn't ask for a better start for a tour. After that, we go to the Netherlands, and then in the second half of the year, there are going to be a bigger tour. Also, I hope so that we can maybe like come to the States or America in general, North America or South America, maybe next year, maybe the year after. It's like hard for a musician to like us in our how big we are to come to the States or South America because it costs a lot of money.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
but the thing with the music videos is like for promotion, every music video is in front scripted by our guitarist Jizzy and our other singer Simon. So they like do a script for every music video, and we pretty much doing everything all by ourselves. And then we work with like most of the time friends of us for like the camera part. Like when you saw the video, I don't know, of who I said, and it's ticking. Who was a good friend of us. His name is Robin Höchstadt. So we're pretty much doing like the creative process, everything on ourselves. We did even like the cover artwork. We like just like, I don't know the English name, but maybe when I show you, you understand. We like self-build the form. I don't know, and then like colored it and took pictures of it and put it in, but we really built this hat.
Okay. Okay. Now talking about now in general about the music in general. As you can see now, we are living in a world that they're hearing just singles. That's well, we are retro movement to hear just singles. I think well,
Yeah.
also you are advanced to release an album because this album, as I mentioned, is a great one. So in this aspect to just release singles, how this kind of thing affect in general to hear the full album, because now the people are just focused on the first singles that you release and not perhaps the full album.
I think it has two sides. The good side about it is like you can bring more music up over a longer time, because the thing about an album, if you wouldn't drop singles, you drop the album and all is gone in 1 month. But if you can like drop singles January, February, March, April, you can stretch the time of it a little bit to get people really focused on songs and don't just skip through it. But for me, it's the same as you said. I think musicians has to bring albums, and the very important part is they have to bring albums for themselves to gain in creativity and also like in music. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, one of the last questions for this new. So, but for me, you are a very, very different band around the world because I hear a lot of new things upcoming. Also for the we are working, doing reviews and interviews, but I think you are we are black sheep of the, especially for February on the Century Media because Century Media release more metal. So, but with this aspect, as you can see, with the music are more like more lean down to specific tastes. It's not like the 80s or 90s when you have the full bands or the main bands, Iron Maiden, I don't know, Metallica,
Yeah.
these bands that are biggest ones right now. So, but now the people has very personalized tastes and their playlist talks about it. So just personalized tastes. So for you, what's going to happen in the follow years because we are don't living we are no like the 80s or 90s or 10s 80s or 70s with the mainstream bands, just we are really hearing just underground bands, medium bands, and no bands that fill up stadiums anymore.
Do you think like in general or for
in
Slow?
general in general in general
In general, I think it's through things like Spotify, Apple Music, and stuff like that. It's so good. Like for if you consume music, you can find a new artist every day. Like you said, for underground or mid or something like that. I don't think that the big bands will die out. I think there will just be like a new generation that will become big bands, and it's good to see like that. Even like younger bands or from our age or a little bit older, like get the attention they deserve, and that the whole like mainstream culture is more open-minded to heavy music again. Like for example, if you take Code Orange or Turnstile, or in the States Kublai Khan or something like that, it's good to see like that there is a change in the mainstream mainstream thinking that it gets more open to like heavy music again.
Okay. Well, Fabio, the sad times arrived at this interview. I hope you enjoyed this one like me. Well, really like
Yeah.
this new album. Really, I did my pre-order because when I hear complete, I did my pre-order. So great album, by
Thank
the
you,
way.
bro.
Congratulations on it. So perhaps do you want to add something to your new Latin American fans and obviously Metallium followers?
Yeah, I hope we can one day we can come over and play live. That would be nice. And thank you for the interview. Thank you for taking your time. And I hope all of you guys have a good start in 2024.